Now, you're in a different market than your customers. You got to put price in perspective. When you're in elementary school and like mom gives you $5 or grandma gives you $5, when you're in elementary school, like you are set, you are loaded, like you are the man, you're the woman. If you got $5 in elementary school, you're living large. Would you agree? Yeah. Now, once you get to junior high, $5 isn't going to cut it anymore. How much do you need in junior high? 20 bucks. But if you have 20 bucks in junior high, you got the movies, you got some Chick-fil-A, like you are the cool guy or the cool girl if you have 20 bucks in junior high. Now, $20 isn't going to cut it in high school. When you're in high school, how much do you need to have? 100 bucks. But if you have a Benjamin in high school, like you're the guy or girl that everybody wants to hang out with. Go on that nice date, you go to the movie, get a good dinner, right? You got 100 bucks. Now, you get to freshman year in college, $100 isn't lasting very long, okay? But if you had $1,000 when you're a freshman in college, you're looking pretty good, you're pretty set, okay? Now you get out of college, $1,000 isn't even going to pay for the security deposit on your apartment, right? $1,000 is nothing after college, okay? And then a couple of years out of college, let's say you buy your first house. You buy your first house, do you know how much the average person puts down as a deposit on a home?
$15,000.
Well, what percent? 20%. 20% is pretty standard. Let's say your brokest of broke customers, which you're not showing your brokest of broke customers Cutco, right? But let's say the brokest of broke people that have a $100,000 house, how much do they put down on the house? $20,000. Even if they just put 10%, they put $10,000 down. Everybody has money to spend, you spend it on different things. So people that you don't think have a lot of money, if they're able to put $10,000 or $20,000 on a really, cheap $100,000 house, of course they have money. So as you were saying, does this surprise them? No. If they can throw down 10 grand on deposit on a house, how about your customers that live in a $500,000 house? How much are they putting down? Okay, 20% would be, well, on a $500,000 house, it would be 100 grand. Okay, 10% would be 50 grand. So if your customers are able to put down $50,000 to $100,000 on a deposit on a $500,000 house, is this a lot of money? No. You just have to put it in perspective. To you, it's a lot of money. To them, no big deal. It's just a normal expense. Okay? How about your customers who live in the $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 house, the $1 million houses? That's like, seat cushion change. Honestly. Literally. And I'm not trying to like downplay it, because yes, it costs money, and this is not like a little bit of money. It's expensive, right? But to a homeowner, not a big deal, right? A good set of kitchen knives to a homeowner, no big deal. That's why we sell sets all the time.
So is that the set of the homemaker?
Yeah, that's the comparable set. So I'll talk about,
yeah.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to talk about all the prices. I'm going to talk about the exact price in a bit.
All right.
Okay. All right, so realize you have to put yourself in your customer's shoes and put it in perspective. Does anybody's family shop at Costco? Okay, when you go to Costco and you fill up the cart, it's 500 bucks. You can't leave Costco with spending less than 500, right? It's just 500 bucks. Now, when mom goes to Costco and it says 500 on the register and the lady says 500 bucks, please, does your mom say, oh my gosh, $500? No, she says, okay, here you go. Gives the card, swipe, good to go, rest of the day. And then she probably goes to another store and goes and gets some more stuff somewhere else, right? $500 is not a big deal to a homeowner. Just swipe, and they do that on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. It's not a lot of money. Okay, it's actually very, very little money for a homeowner. Now to you, it's a lot of money. If I give you $500, you'd be like, man, I'm set. I'm taking off for the next couple of weeks, right? But for a homeowner, 500 bucks is nothing. All right, let's talk about what you spend your money on, because the things that you spend your money on, your customers think that you're crazy. Like mom and dad, they think you're absolutely insane. The things that they spend their money on, you think that they're absolutely insane. So I want to help you put yourself in perspective. I want you to think about something that you've spent a lot of money on. I want you to write this down. What have you spent a boatload of money on? A boatload of money. Your money, and I don't want sales, I don't want good deals. I want what you spent your money on, just an obscene amount of money. What's the one thing that you own that you really love that mom and dad thought you were crazy, that they gave you so much crap for, that they were so irritated, so pissed? Maybe it's the pair of shoes, maybe it's the leather jacket, maybe it's the purse, maybe it's the prom dress, maybe it's the sunglasses, the iPhone. What is it that you spent a lot of money on that your parents thought you were crazy? Or what's something that doesn't cost a ton, but you do it over and over and over? So for example, we've got Pat D plays Magic the Gathering. He spent like thousands of dollars on cards. Not all at once, but it's added up quite a bit. So maybe it's your paint products for your art projects, right? Or maybe it's like ladies getting your nails done or your hair done and things like that. So what do you spend over and over and over repetitively that adds up to a lot of money? Or what's one thing that you bought that you thought was really cool, you really appreciated because you were in the market for, but mom and dad thought you were nuts? Okay, I want you to write that down. I want you to think about those things, and I want you to write those down. If you have multiple, I want you to write those down too. Now, I'm going to go around, I'm going to ask you for examples. Now, I want to have fun with it, but realize that we are being filmed, so I want to make sure that we're on point and not getting into side conversations. The whole point of this is to prove a point, to show you that you're in a different market than your customers. So, who's got a good example for me? Who's got one thing you spent a ton of money on that mom freaked out over? Damien?
I bought an Alienware computer for $2,800.
Alienware computer, and that's for gaming, right? Okay, so you're into gaming, and who's not into gaming here? Who thinks $2,800 is a lot of money for a laptop? Who likes gaming? Who's really into that? Who think that's pretty awesome? Same hands, right? Since you're in the market for it, you think that's awesome. You're kind of jealous. Everybody else, you think he's a freak. Does that make sense? Good. And mom thought you were crazy. But every time you use it, you're fired up. You love it. Okay, good. Give me another example.
I spent $800 on the 32 gigabyte iPhone.
Okay, $800 on an iPhone. Now, to you, it's important. Now, who freaked out?
My dad.
Dad freaked out. He doesn't get it. He still uses the flip phone. He just doesn't understand the importance of having a cool iPhone. You guys get that? Different market. Who's got another example?
I spent $700 on turntables.
$700 on turntables. Now, who else is a DJ in here? Anybody else DJ? So, Jackson, that's pretty cool, right? You're like, yeah, that's awesome. Who doesn't DJ? Who thinks it's a lot of money? Same hands, right? It's all about the market. It's all about perspective. Ryan, what about you?
Most of my paychecks turn into cheap parts.
To what?
Cheap parts?
Jeep parts, okay? So how much have you spent on your car total? Thousands of dollars.
Over a long time.
Yeah, and it adds up, right? Now, some people think you're crazy, but to you it's important. You like to work on your car. Good. What else?
I collect Betty Boop stuff, and I'm pretty sure I've spent over $1,000.
Over $1,000. What the heck is Betty Boop?
You know what Betty Boop is?
No, I'm old.
She's a cartoon. She's an old cartoon.
All right, I'm young. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Still, I don't get it. All right, Betty Boop. All right, good.
Cartoon character like Tweety Bird.
Oh,
Happy.
okay. Oh, so it's old school.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And you spent over $1,000 on stuff.
Yes.
It's like the old Hello Kitty, right?
Yeah.
So people that wear like all the stupid backpacks and stuff, and they spend a lot of money. That's okay, got it. Right. So you spent a lot of money. Who thought you were crazy? Who thinks you're crazy?
My mom.
Mom thinks you're crazy. You spent $1,000 on Betty Boop. Good. All right, get it. What'd you spend your money on?
A couple thousand on Ferrari Memorabilia.
Not even the car, just the memorabilia. Okay. So like the little toy cars and the stickers and the logos and stuff like that. Now to you, it's important. It's cool, right? Who thinks you're crazy? Everyone else thinks you're crazy, but you're in the market for it. Carter?
$1,700 on a drum set.
$1,700 drum set. Who drums? Who thinks that's awesome? Who doesn't drum? Who thinks that's a lot of money? You guys get it? So it's all about market. Devin, what did you spend your money on?
Oh, I was going to but my hair, I guess.
Okay, how much on your hair?
I get at least 200, 300.
How often?
Like every 2 months.
2 months, $200 to $300. So that is what, like $1,200, $1,500 a year? About $1,500 a year on her hair. Now, ladies, you can appreciate that. Guys, you think that's insane. It's all about perspective. It's all about market. Are we getting this? Who's got a really sweet pair of shades? Who's spent over $100 on a pair of sunglasses before? Whose mom thought you were crazy, right? Because mom doesn't get it. She says go like this, right? She doesn't get it, but to you, it looks cool. Guys, stop the side conversations. The whole point is to understand the perspective. Okay, what about anybody have a gaming system? Spend a couple $100 on a gaming system and then all the games, right? And all the games. And mom and dad think you're crazy. They say just play the old Nintendo, but they don't get it. That's 20 years old, doesn't even plug in. You've got to blow on the game to make it work, okay? They don't get it. But for you, it's important, all right? Any athletes in here? How about cleats and sports equipment? It's really expensive. Really expensive. Now, other people don't get it, but if you play that sport, right, your baseball cleats, probably $150, $200, easy. Okay, your bat, probably a $300 or $400 bat. You can't get it, if you play baseball, you can't have a $100 or $200 bat because it's not going to hit the home run, or not going to hit the ball out of the park, right? But if you have a $300 or $400 bat, it's going to be sweet. Okay, does that make sense? So your customers are in a different position than you are. I want you to realize that all of these things. Does everyone have at least one thing written down that you spent a boatload and obscene amount of money on? Okay, I want you to realize that you bought all those things without a job. Or maybe you were working part-time at McDonald's, okay? But realize that you weren't working full-time, you were in school, you bought that stuff with birthday money and allowance, right? All those things you bought growing up and in high school, and a lot of you in college, you bought that on birthday money, allowance, and graduation money. You didn't even have a job. So you think people are crazy because they spend a couple $1,000s on high-quality kitchen knives that they're going to use every single day? And you bought those things and you're jobless. Does that help put something in perspective a little bit? You're crazy. They're not the crazy ones. You're insane. How do you spend $500 if you have no money? Everybody has money to spend. People just spend on different things. The point is you have to put yourself in your customer's shoes. Of course they've got plenty of money. They can afford whatever they want. They can afford whatever they want. You got to put yourself in perspective. I want to talk about things in the house and what customers spend their money on. Anybody ever jump on the bed when you were a kid? Mom and dad say don't jump on the bed because you're going to hit your what? Do they care about your head? What do they care about? The bed. Do you know how much the average bed costs? Like you can go budget on anything, but do you know how much a bed costs these days? $2,000-$3,000 minimum. Who's got a family member with a super nice one that like every time you go home, you're like, you just kind of put your head down on mom and dad's bed. You're like, I'm just gonna take a little nap, right? So that one's like $5,000-$6,000. That you can get the sleep numbers for like 7 or 8. How about the coffee table? Coffee table is a piece of wood. It's got 4 legs. You put stuff on it, right? Would you agree? $1,000 minimum. Usually $1,500 to $2,000 for a good quality coffee table. Do most of your families, do most of your customers have a quality coffee table? Yes. Why? Because you need it for the house. You're not a homeowner. Things for the house don't cost hundreds. They cost what? Thousands. How about the dining room table? Do you know how much an average dining room table is? Now you can go budget, but how much for a good dining room table these days? That's like Walmart collection. Here's the thing. Your customers, they might go to Walmart to like get groceries and stuff, but nobody's furnishing their house with the Walmart collection. Can you agree with that? Nobody's furnishing with the Walmart collection. A dining room table, $5,000 average. $3,000 minimum for a flimsy one from IKEA, but $5,000 average. Who's got a super fancy one at home? Who's got a family member, a relative with like just one of those huge dining room tables with like really fancy like carvings and moldings? Okay, $15,000. Go home and ask your parents how much they spend on the dining room table. It's going to blow your mind. You're going to say, this is why I have to pay for my own college education? Because of this? It's in the room that you're not allowed to even go in. It's in the no-touch room. You're not allowed to even go in there. It's all vacuumed the same way. And that room that you're not allowed in ever, you're not allowed to even look at it, right? Don't look at that room. You're not allowed in there, right? That room, it's like $100,000 for that room. You don't even use it. It's making sense? How about kitchen knives? They use every day. Cutco, never have to replace. Buy once. All right. How about the kitchen? Cutco's in the kitchen. New fridge. How much for a good quality fridge these days? What? $2,000. Minimum. If you want the door to be floppy and handles falling off. About $3,000 for a good one. $4,000 or $5,000 for the best. You can get the Sub-Zeros for like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Who's got a super fancy one with the French doors and the pull out? Who's got those at home? Okay, $4,000 or $5,000 easy. Easy. You put food in it, stays cold. $4,000 or $5,000. Okay. How about granite countertops? Who's got granite? Who has some customers on your list? Granite countertops. Every single one of you. Probably half your list or 3/4 your list. Granite countertops, depending on the type of granite, anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000, depending on the type of granite. Do people have it? Yeah. Why? Because they appreciate the things in their house. Things for the house don't cost hundreds. They cost what? Thousands. Anybody ever redo a kitchen? Anybody ever remodel a kitchen? Yeah. $50,000 to $100,000 minimum. Anybody have oak cabinets they've ever redone? Ever do oak cabinets? 10, 15 grand for oak cabinets. Hardwood flooring. Whose dad does hardwood flooring? D? Hardwood flooring. $10,000, $15,000 per room. Okay? It's not cheap. Anybody ever redo floors in their house? It's a big expense. This is like pocket change compared to that. Literally pocket change. Okay? So the idea is to think about it as an investment. Now, I've got a tank of gas. Logan, this is for you. Tank of gas, $39.99. You want it? It's forever guaranteed.
Yeah.
You never have to buy it ever again in your entire life.
Yeah.
You would buy it? If I gave you until midnight tonight, would you come up with it? Would you find a way?
Probably.
Who else would find a way? $4,000 for tank gas, forever guaranteed. You never buy it again. Why? It's worth it. It's a lot of money up front, but it pays itself off over time. That's the philosophy for Cutco. We'd rather explain the price once than apologize for poor quality over and over and over again.